Hey guys, this is Go Play Outside. Back again with another Gigataro video. First one in maybe like a couple weeks to a month. I decided to turn my Gigataro designs from the computer to printed paper because one, I didn't want that incident of the computer to happen again, so I just decided I don't know, like, put it on paper, so one, I already colored in Photoshop, so it still counts as digital, just on paper. And yeah, so, let's get started with the video, shall we? Okay, so, Professor Baobab, last time she wanted you to go to the Pokemon, Aether Foundation research site that was destroyed and see if there's any, like, mysterious rifts or any, like, ghosts or something there from the fire. And yeah, so in this one, after you defeated the Team Rap Grunts, you move on into the Aloysia Village, or no, not Aloysia, Alloyance, junkyard area, aka Route 2. So, yeah, let's get on with that, shall we? First Pokemon of the video is Termine, a ground bug type. So, design-wise, it yearns for the mines, says Minecraft Steve. Yeah, I made this design a while ago, mainly for the first episode. But since I wanted to, like, make the Route 1 specifically just for Route 1, I decided to just move it on to Route 2 for the time being, just to make it work better. Anyways, moving on to after you catch Termine and put it in your box, you move on further into Route 2, where you find a convergent Sandile called Candile, a fairy ground type, first fairy ground type of the region. Fun fact, this thing was based on Gummy Goo from the Amazing Digital Circus. But yeah, it's basically a pretty cool Pokemon, as the fact that it's a Australian crocodile gummy thing. This was also supposed to be a gummy thing, but like mixed in with a bunch of other candies, so it's just a candy crocodile. You catch it and move on further into Route 2, and almost to the gym leader of let's say Alloyance Junkyard. You come across a convergent Onyx called Phonix. Yep, I made this a long time ago for when I had that Christmas party at, like, I don't know, I had a Christmas party, okay? So, I drew this at the building I was at that had the Christmas party, and I turned it into a Pokemon. So here is a bug-type Onyx called Phonix. And it's just a pure bug-type, by the way. So yeah, let's move on to the gym leader of Alloyance Junkyard. Here is Lugia, or Lua. I think it's Lugia. I'm just gonna say Lugia, meaning metal. It's a steel-type gym leader, and yeah, she welcomes you to Alloyance Junkyard, and she wants to have a battle with you. Okay, so this next mon I thought of on one of the Stern Air's live streams. It is called Scrapling, a steel-type bat Pokemon. Scrapling is basically this garbage gremlin bat thing that was supposed to be like maybe a fruit bat, except not really fruit, more like mechanical bat. And also I have plans for its evolution, which will be in a couple episodes from now. But yeah, so far, Scrapling looks pretty cute for what it is, and it was pretty easy to take down. Moving on to the next Pokemon that Lugia has, which is a Gigatarin regional form for Salandit. Here is Gigatarin Salandit, a poison steel type. Yep, this thing is a garbage lizard, and it eats metal. So it's basically eating a piece of metal that it stole, probably from a regional Meltan, which I might get to in a future video. So yeah, here's Gigatarin Salandit, and it goes down pretty easily despite it being a garbage lizard and its metal teeth or whatever. Moving on to this next one, which I had to redesign because the first one looked pretty bad. So here is Gumbot. Gumbot is a steel fairy type, and it's based on a gumball machine. Yeah, it's basically a gumball machine robot, which wobbles on this little, like, candy holder that it has, because it's a gumball machine. But yeah, this thing has an evolution, which will be in a very future video, like, probably in, like, 5 more episodes from now. And yeah. So yeah, I hope y'all like the design, and it was, again, like, you took it down, like, yeah, I'm trying to do it for BR, it says in his videos, I don't know. Anyways, so she sends out her final Pokemon, which is an Orpworm. Yeah, you heard me right, an Orpworm from Scarlet and Violet, and it becomes its servant form. Introducing Orpworm's servant form, the Dune Destroyer. It's a steel ground type, and yeah, it's basically just this worm. Like, it's based on the Doom Worm, and also large bugs because Australia. But yeah, it's still pretty cool because it's basically like riding into the sunset. Not really, it just never ends. And yeah, it was pretty hard, and it might have taken down one of your Pokemon, but you managed to get it out of here, or you managed to kill it. Lugia gives you the Alloy Badge, and you move on to Route 3, which is on fire right now because of the destruction caused by the Area Zero rifts. Professor Baobab calls you on her little Rotom phone and mentions that there might be some intruders at the site, so you might have to be careful. You start heading over to the site through Route 2, and in the meanwhile, you end up fighting a Flamu. Flamu is a fire-flying type, and it's based on Emu, or particularly a baby bird, and also kind of a Thanksgiving turkey. So, yeah, it's basically on fire, and trust me, it'll evolve into something cool. Cooler than Chickle from the Kanto region, which I might actually make regional forms for this region. Anyways, you took it down without a sweat, since you were out of space in your party to catch stuff. And after that, your Madingo, the dog Pokemon of last video, evolves into Dustloyal, a ground rock type. Dustloyal is basically like Lycanroc, but like Lycanroc's cousin. And yeah, it's basically just this, and it has a third evolution, which we'll get to in a totally different video. Dustloyal is pretty good design-wise, and a pretty good evolution, and I wanted to include it in the video somehow. Moving on further into Route 3, which you end up finding a convergent form of Applin. There is a lot of forms in this region, and it is Banaplin, a pure grass type. Banaplin is a banana Pokemon, and guess what? Fun fact, this thing will evolve into, like, just a, spoiler alert, it'll evolve into one of those banana spider thingies, which will look awesome and pretty good for a Pokemon. So, yeah, you end up catching Banaplin since you find a nearby P.O. box to put, like, half of your team in there or whatever, or half of the Pokemon you caught. And when you arrive over to the site, the Aether Foundation research site, there's already the intruders grunts out there which you fight. Here's Team Time. Team Time, like, let me explain. Team Time basically embraces those Area Zero rifts and wants to keep them open and distort the land. And then, like, eventually, like, they want to open up a giant portal to, like, bring the Paradox world where the dinosaur Pokemon and the robot Pokemon are aligned and bring them into Jigataro's reality. Meaning they're going to rebirth the Earth, or Poke Earth, as just a straight up, like, wasteland of robots and stuff. Like BC. Anyways, so the grunts are based on Daft Punk a little bit. Like, kind of evil Daft Punk. Anyways, lightning round. Yeah, you move on to their Paradox Pokemon. Hold on for a second. I'm gonna move over to my bed because my iPad is low on battery and I need to record. So yeah, moving on. Here is Thick Skull. The fighting psychic type Paradox Psyduck. Literally a Paradox Psyduck. And yeah, basically, you were able to take it down, as is basically just weak, is pretty weak, and the psychical club or whatever it tries to hit you with does absolutely nothing. Like, in fact, it confuses the Pokemon how badly of a weapon that is, and it's just a dumb caveman. So yeah, it was easy to take down. You move on to their last Pokemon, Ugly Queen. A dark normal type, based on Oinkologne, except if Oinkologne was a past Paradox Pokemon. And yeah, Ugly Queen is basically like the Karen version of Oinkologne, and it is based on the prehistoric Hell Pig. Yeah, that's actually what they're called when I researched it. So yeah, it's just these prehistoric pigs of nightmares that chase after you and look pretty ugly. They look like the Bokoblins from Zelda, if you think about it. Anyways, it gives you a little ruffling, meaning, like, it rumbles and fights your Pokemon, manages to take down one of them, and you move on. You don't just move on, you take down what's it called? Team Time. You take down Team Time's Pokemon. Sorry if I'm fumbling a little bit on my speech, but whatever. So this next Pokemon, which story-wise, the Team Time grunts run and you get inside the Aether Foundation site, only to find it being destroyed and nobody else being in there. Except for this next Pokemon, which ambushes you and starts attacking your Pokemon. So this next Pokemon is actually a past Paradox Pheromosa, an Ultra Beast past Paradox Pokemon. So actually, I didn't even make this one. I actually suggested it on a live stream from Kiefa Fakimon, which I will credit them in the comments and or description for this Pokemon because I already promised them I would if I used it in a video. Here is Speedy Beauty, a bug dart type. Speedy Beauty, yes, it does have shading because this, again, is Kiefa doing the design, not me. So, Speedy Beauty is basically, like, based on either silverfish or, let's say, isopod, like prehistoric isopod, and also a, like, goth queen looking, like, roach. But yeah, I think this is the coolest one of the whole video. But yeah, it'll probably get cooler later on. It was rough. The battle basically took maybe 5 minutes, and it took down like half your team. And you managed to take it down, and it goes down. So you move on from the site after Professor Baobab gives you one last task in finding the Team Time headquarters and seeing what they're doing. And yeah, you as the player, ignores it for a little bit and gets sidetracked in going to, the ghost type city, Resin Peace. Resin Peace is basically like Lavender Town, except like a city. And it's not the Kanal region Lavender City. I made sure of it. So in Resin Peace Ghost Gym, you meet up with the gym leader who's named Geist. Geist, says hi and also immediately wants to battle you out of spite. So Geist design, he basically obviously looks like a ghost gym, and I also gave him these little like shorts or pants with ripped holes in them because goth, like gothic looking dude. And he sends out his first ghost type Pokemon, which is Mimegg, a ghost type. So Mimegg is basically like the mimic version of the eggs from Pokemon, and is based on a rotten egg as well. The reason why it's a ghost type is because usually in the eggs in Pokemon they have baby Pokemon. This thing is like this ghost thing or whatever, which is or will be a baby Pokemon in its evolution, basically took the egg and used it as a shell. Now, guess what this arm thing is? Is it A, hand, B, some sort of like spike thing, or C, some wings? I want y'all to either guess in the comments or let me know in the next video. But yeah, Mimegg was easy to take down as it is literally just an egg. You just stomped on it or had your Pokemon like false swipe it and it cuts in half and dies. Geist sends out his next Pokemon. Sorry if I'm a little slow with this. But yeah, Geist sends out his next Pokemon, which is based on a cooked alive shrimp or prawn. Here is Scumpy, a ghost water type. Scumpy is basically just this dead lobster thing. Red lobster, more like dead lobster, is what this thing says inside. Like, look at it. It's just adorable. And also I spent, like, I don't know, like half the time I wanted to just designing this. So far it looks good, though, for what it is. And, yeah, I hope y'all like it. You managed to take it down, and Geist sends out his second to last Pokemon. Here is a candle Pokemon, Kittle. Kittle meaning, like, kid and Kindle, because the candle, and also it has candle in the name as well. It's a Fire Fairy type, first of the region. And it basically It's, again, just a candle, but alive. It looks pretty cute, and I love it. Moving on to the next and or final Pokemon of Geist's team, as you manage to just blow out the flame of Kittle and it dies. So, Geist sends out his final Pokemon, which is a Dusknoir, and servant forms it, or gives it a servant form. Here is Dusknoir servant form, aka Bound Fortune, a ghost psychic type. This is based on those Egyptian fortune tellers. I don't think they have to be Egyptian. I don't know if I just said something messed up or anything, but it's supposed to be like a gypsy kind of looking design. And it's also Dusknoir, but like being free from its chains. So yeah, it is pretty hard as it knocked out a couple of your Pokemon, but you managed to, again, give it its bound future, aka destroy it. Geist gives you the, what's it called? Oh yeah, the skull badge, which I didn't actually design yet because I didn't think about it until now. And yeah, right after that battle, your starter Pokemon evolve into their middle stages. So Joey, the grass-type kangaroo Pokemon, evolves into Rangaroot. Rangaroot is a grass dark type and is based on rangers, kinda, and also Australian kangaroos and wallabies. And yeah, the little twig on its butt evolves into a tree, and it gets bigger. Also, this little hat is like a lily pad, and I hope y'all like it. Moving on to the next starter that evolves, which is Smolala. Smolala evolves into Cookwalla. Cookwalla is a fire psychic type, and it uses psychic energy to cook. Literally cook food. And yeah, its little thing on its head grows bigger, or even gets it on its head, almost like a wizard, and its ears turn to stars. And it also grows a little beard. So yeah, I hope y'all like Cookwalla, as I don't know how long it took me to make the design before, but either way, it looks cool now. And the final starter, Oasis, evolves into Skullither, a water ghost type. Skullither is basically like kind of based on those like the Day of the Dead with the skull design, and also the little skin being like a skeleton or a ghost makes it look cool. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good for a design. And also, let me tell y'all in the chat, its final evolution is hecka cool. It looks awesome. I designed the final evolution pretty well, and I think y'all will like it too. Anyways, back to the last bit of story. You saw the Team Time Grunts running through Route 4 into this like water town area, like beach area. So next video you're gonna be spending time at the beach. Anyways, I'll get onto that in the next video, and thank you guys for watching. Just know that my drawing pen for my drawing iPads might have broke, and it might take me 2 days or however long to get the drawing pens, or like new drawing pen, to animate the battle for, not the Battle for Free Food 4, but another Battle for Free Food 1. Anyways, I'll credit Kietha for Speedy Beauty in the comments, and I thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!